Finding the right moment, Yiwu began executing his final trick, aware that it required close-range activation. As his opening move, he thrust his flaming sword into the ground. The deputy commander sensed something was amiss and exclaimed, "What kind of trick is this?" Before the deputy commander could react, Yiwu triggered his special skill with the command deflagration, resulting in a massive explosion that even affected Yiwu himself. Despite taking cover behind his shield, the explosive impact significantly reduced his health points. With this unexpected move, the battle neared its climax. Who would emerge victorious? Only one move remained to decide the outcome. The attack, occurring at such close range and with a fierce explosion, left him with no time to use any props, forcing him to endure the impact amid billowing flames. Surprisingly, the flames didn't harm him, his health points remained steady, but he acquired a strange debuff. Regaining his spirit, and no longer in the mood to play around, he continued his attack on Yiwu with a barrage of bullets, determined to end the fight quickly. Meanwhile, Yiwu, with dwindling health, desperately sought cover behind his shield, sensing the increased intensity of the gunfire. He doubted his health could sustain another minute of this onslaught. At this critical moment, a system warning announced his health points had dropped below 10%, activating his Limit Nirvana defense talent for 20 seconds. The outcome of the battle would be determined in these crucial seconds. Just then, as the deputy commander fired his weapon, it malfunctioned. Instead of bullets, there were only loud bangs, cracks, and sparks. Panicked, he wondered if his weapon might explode. To his horror, his weapon and armor disintegrated, leaving him in his underwear. A strange debuff had consumed his equipment. Realizing his weapon was destroyed, he lay down, clutching its shattered remains close to him. Standing before him, Yiwu pointed out the weapon's poor durability, a consequence of neglect and lack of maintenance. While engulfed in sorrow over his beloved weapon, Yiwu, revitalized by a recovery potion, spoke again. He revealed a bet he had won on the weapon's durability. Yiwu's belittling comment ignited his fury. In a rage, the deputy commander stood up, clutching a grenade, threatening to kill him. In response, Yiwu swiftly placed his flaming sword close to the deputy commander's neck, immobilizing him with a threat. Yiwu then calmly reminded the deputy commander that his current position made him even more vulnerable. Realizing the imminent danger, the deputy commander was swept into panic. He knelt down, raising his hands in surrender, begging for mercy and explaining that he was merely following his commander's orders. Recognizing the situation, Yiwu offered a chance by asking to open a level 40 treasure chest in the car. Pressed for action, the deputy commander quickly mentioned the chest's password, but Yiwu disregarded it, demanding the chest be opened. As he cautiously entered the password, his eyes occasionally flicked towards him. This intentional delay, a silent strategy to buy time, reflected his hope for reinforcements. As the treasure chest opened, the deputy commander, consumed by a desire for escape, turned toward him. In that critical moment, his flaming sword impaled the deputy commander's abdomen. "Sorry, it's impossible," he declared solemnly, his voice echoing with finality. The sword's impact ignited him in flames, a vivid display of betrayal and dashed hopes. As he burned, Yiwu calmly stated his actions were out of necessity, a precaution to eliminate any risk. The deputy commander, now a human inferno, staggered towards his commander for aid. But after a few desperate steps, he collapsed, the flames claiming him. From his demise, Yiwu received a kill reward, 30,000 experience points. Additionally, he collected 2,000 yuan, the formidable weapon Hellscreamer, and an epic item, a level 40 dungeon key. Surprised at finding only 2,000 yuan on the deputy commander, Yiwu pondered over the scarcity of equipment repair funds. However, the discovery of the dungeon key, a gateway to challenges for levels 40 to 45 in Area C87, sparked his curiosity. Deciding to set aside the dungeon key for the moment, Yiwu turned his full attention to the treasure chest. His first chest opening was marked with an unexpected achievement, adding an element of surprise to his adventure. The chest yielded an impressive array of spoils, 1.28 million in currency, secondary gunpowders, high explosive bombs, restoration and mana potions, ancient magic crystals, enchanted ammunition, and the elusive tears of Medusa. Among these, the ancient magic crystals stood out. Known for their ability to grant experience points upon absorption, they were especially valuable to Yiwu given his current level. After converting 10 of these crystals, Yiwu's experience points surged by 100,000, bringing his total to 130,000. This significant boost prompted the system to suggest unlocking another king account for increased power and potential. Despite the recommendation, Yiwu, anticipating more experience points, decided not to unlock a new account immediately. His focus remained on enhancing the Emperor Qian account for all-around offensive and defensive capabilities. Subsequently, he requested the system to open the talent map for the Emperor Qian account, focusing on enhancing its capabilities. Following this, the system revealed the talent map for the Emperor Qian account and conveyed that spending 100,000 experience points would not only increase 10 link levels, but also automatically grant a free 1-star talent point, a cost he found prohibitively expensive. With this information, he then shifted his focus to unlock the new King account, asking about the experience points needed to unlock it. The system informed him that unlocking the new account also required 100,000 experience points. After careful consideration, Yiwu realized that investing 100,000 experience points to unlock a new account was more cost-effective. With his decision firm, he promptly instructed the system to proceed with unlocking the new King account. The system began the process of unlocking the new King's account, asking for patience during the procedure. Meanwhile, he stood with his hand raised, eagerly anticipating the emergence of the new account. Soon after, the system announced that the new King's account had been unlocked. The appearance of the account was accompanied by effects of mist and small flashes of lightning. The new King's account was named Moss, a crazy scientist from another world, with his talents and inventions that eventually led to destruction. This figure, with an artificial hand and an artificial eye, truly embodied the nickname Crazy Scientist. When Moss appeared as the new King's account, a crazy scientist and not a combat type, his expression was noticeably disappointed. Yet, Yiwu, despite Moss's title as a crazy scientist, respected him as a man at the pinnacle of the world and was intrigued to see his skills. On the panel showcasing Moss's profile, many titles were listed, but the one currently unlocked was Master of Engineering. Interestingly, Moss's skills were dynamic, changing with each selected title. Consequently, this realization renewed his excitement, as he understood that Moss's dynamic abilities and titles would provide significant support in both combat and gameplay. Then, the system began to switch the main account to Crazy Moss with the title of Master of Engineering. Following the system's switch to the Crazy Moss account, its accompanying creation, Weiss, also awakened. Swiftly approaching him, the excited Weiss eagerly sought to personally explain the abilities of Moss's previous master to Yiwu. Reactivated after years of dormancy, Weiss was brimming with happiness and enthusiasm. Weiss quickly informed Yiwu, its new master, about being created by Moss with cross-dimensional AI. It outlined its purpose to assist in world conquest, detailing strategies and capabilities. Although Weiss outlined its conquest-focused purpose, the idea of conquering the world never crossed his mind, and he had no intention of doing so. Weiss claimed the Crazy Moss account's strength lay in madness. Emphasizing that heightened madness equated to increased strength, it delivered this message with an evil expression. In reaction to Weiss, his displeased eyes narrowed as he pointed, showing annoyance at the instruction. Sensing the tension, Weiss quickly reassured, expressing no offense intended. In that case, to ease tension, he asked Weiss to briefly explain Crazy Moss's operational mechanics and capabilities within a 70-word limit. In response, Weiss, with an expression akin to a cry, explained the account's core mechanism as decomposition plus fusion, leading to creation. It detailed that an engineering master could now decompose and merge engineering-related objects, creating powerful new ones. As he learned more about the Crazy Moss account, his interest increased. He found the concept of gaining strength from madness intriguing and realized that mastering this unique ability was more challenging than it seemed at first. Following this, Weiss explained that at the current link level, decomposing objects beyond twice the master's level was not possible. The master needed to quickly gather many engineering drawings to efficiently produce the desired props and weapons. With a clear grasp of Crazy Moss skills, Yiwu shifted focus to the system's account switching mechanism and any restrictions. Asking Weiss for details, he found limited information available. As Weiss couldn't respond, the system took over, stating that accounts could seamlessly switch within the system, whether in combat or non-combat states. It advised the host to choose the right time for account switching to avoid unforeseen dangers. Armed with system insights, Yiwu prepared to leave for his business, not wanting to keep the lady waiting too long. Meanwhile, Weiss, puzzled, asked, "Master, what about me?" Yiwu replied briefly, "Stand by." In a lounge where Miss Mo was held by mercenaries, seated on a sofa, she boldly called her captors cowards for kidnapping her and inquired about the fate of the last person who had opposed her. Considering Miss Mo's daring challenge, the team leader admitted mercenaries normally wouldn't attack her. Turning his chair to face her, he noted that with adequate support, he had the courage to proceed. Hearing the team leader's assertion, Miss Mo quickly speculated, could it be the Huangzhang group? They're the only ones with the audacity and capability for this. You're right, It is the Huanzhen group. Without the Eye of Medusa they provided, the mercenaries wouldn't stand a chance against your bodyguards, he said, pointing to the bodyguards petrified by the Eye of Medusa. Miss Mo expressed, desperate to take over Regional Copy 23 from the Hanmo group. They've even turned to such foolish methods. She looked sharply at the mercenary leader and told him that killing her to destroy the Hanmo group was naive. The leader sat next to her, casually draping an arm around her shoulders, and stated that major faction schemes didn't concern him. For his mercenaries, it was all about the money. He leaned in and revealed that the Huanzhen group offered 50 million to kill her, but he would release her if she doubled the amount. She coldly grasped the mercenary leader's face and told him he was dreaming, stating she wouldn't do business with a man lacking integrity and wouldn't give him a penny. In response, the wounded pride of the mercenary leader surfaced as he pointed at her, offering a chance to change her tone and think before speaking. Miss Mo, however, firmly declined, her words clear and final, leaving no room for negotiation. Unmoved by threats, Miss Mo declared that the Hanmo group would maintain sovereignty even in ruin. She dismissed the idea that her demise would topple the group as a joke, stating her life held no more value to the group than a pawn to a chess player. The leader then firmly grasped two swords hidden behind his back with both hands and declared, "No more chances, no more talk." He swung the two swords like poised scissors, aiming to sever her head, and declared, "Go to hell, for your head has no worth anymore." Just as the swords neared her neck, an energy shield sprang up, protecting her from the lethal strike. The leader stood dumbfounded, eyes wide at the sudden protective barrier as the attack bounced off. Then, a voice revealed the energy shield as a gesture of gratitude from the last encounter in the black market. Miss Mo glanced and recognized her benefactor. Her savior, Yi Wu, mentioned with casual ease that there were no more debts of favor, and this time there would be a separate charge for saving her life, requesting a payment of 10 million. Stunned by the unexpected sight, Miss Mo exclaimed, "Yi Wu, is it really you? What are you doing here?" Amidst tension, the enraged mercenary leader, disrupted by the interruption, swiftly leaped while attacking Yi Wu. His swords gleamed with menacing energy as he sneered, "A mere level 4 kid dares to spoil my good deeds." Faced with the mercenary leader's attack, Yi Wu swiftly summoned a protective shield. While mitigating the impact, the strike shattered the surrounding floor, reducing his health points by 20%. Meanwhile, Yi Wu was slightly surprised. With his opponent's level just a bit higher, any small mistake could be fatal, leaving no room for error. Meanwhile, witnessing their battle within the shield, Miss Mo urged Yi Wu to leave, insisting he had no stake in this perilous situation and needn't risk his life playing the hero. At the same time, several mercenaries continued to unleash a relentless barrage on Miss Mo's protective energy shield, gradually weakening it. The shield seemed unlikely to withstand the ongoing onslaught much longer. Despite the relentless attacks, Yi Wu calmly reassured Miss Mo, confident that he would ensure her safety, as he had yet to receive the points and bonuses from the dungeon competition. Miss Mo, initially perceiving Yi Wu as greedy, realized his cunning and boldness, especially evident in his black market ventures, while sensing her protective energy depleting. As the energy shield depleted, it astonishingly restored to full capacity, revealing the use of one star with two others still remaining. The witnessing mercenaries found it unbelievable. To them, it seemed impossible. Upon seeing the protective energy fully restored, the leader grew suspicious, wondering if Yi Wu carried a rare item and doubting his level 4 appearance, prompting questions about his origins and the reasons for hiding his power. In response to the leader's suspicion, Yi Wu dashed towards him, complimenting his acumen. Inwardly appreciating his skill, he had combined 3 energy shields into one using his Crazy Mouse account, effectively gaining 3 times the armor value. As he ran towards them, Yi Wu threw several high explosive grenades at the mercenaries, who froze, noticing and staring at the grenades falling above them. Faced with the grenade attacks, the leader prepared to activate the prop in his hand, realizing he had overestimated the boy and now saw him as someone who merely relied on props. An energy shield emerged to protect him from the grenade explosions. He was unconcerned about unexpected troubles from Yi Wu, believing him, reliant on props, to be merely awaiting his demise. After hitting the ground, the grenades caused sequential explosions, and not just that, the blasts released spider silk that ensnared and drained the mercenaries' health points, stunning and entangling them in an unexpected tactic. Seeing their confusion or shock, Yi Wu explained to the mercenaries that this was not an ordinary high-explosive grenade but a new form he created, named Sticky Bondage. This sticky bondage is created by recombining and generating from demon spider silk and high-explosive grenade, resulting in an effect that can control the movements of their targets for 10 minutes and cause continuous damage. However, it seemed the attack was unable to hold back the leader's strength. With his lightning energy, he easily shattered the spider silk and told Yiwu that child's play would not defeat him. After that, the leader had merged his two swords into one, enhancing his weapon with lightning energy and emitting bolts of lightning. He declared that, as an adult, he would show Yiwu the true nature of combat. Having witnessed his opponent's formidable power, Yiwu prepared for the upcoming battle, realizing that props made from low-level materials were inadequate against high-level warriors. In that moment, the leader pressed his foot down and leapt forward, swinging his sword at the shield while shouting, "Go to hell." The forceful strike reduced Yiwu's health points by 30%, leaving him at only 50%. In a defensive stance, Yiwu quickly launched an attack with his flaming sword towards the enemy leader. Yet, the leader, already anticipating Yiwu's move, evaded the strike with ease. As Yiwu's attack missed, the leader counterattacked with his thunderstorm sword. The powerful slash towards the shield struck it, shattering the defense and reducing Yiwu's health points to a mere 10%. In response to this critical situation, a notification from the system alerted that the host's health had fallen below 10%, triggering the activation of the defense talent to lock the health points. Realizing his critical health, he decided it was time to determine the winner and launched the explosive Fire Dragon Bomb skill towards the opposing leader. Unfazed by Yiwu's fiery assault, the leader easily parried with his sword, implying that being troubled by such an attack would demean his level 45 status. In the midst of the events, a panicked Miss Mo urgently urged him to stop fighting and retreat, warning that continuing would lead to his demise. Ignoring Miss Mo's pleas, Yiwu dismissed the idea of fleeing. He gripped his flaming sword, charging up his ultimate Red Storm skill, with flames swirling around him, readying a potent counterattack. Focused on his next move, Yiwu confidently reassured Miss Mo that he was far from defeated, proclaiming that what was to follow would be a remarkable spectacle. After activating his skill, Yiwu unleashed a storm of flames around the leader, who remained calm and laughed, finding the grand display painless and amusing. The leader charged through the firestorm towards Yiwu, stating the time for jokes was over and he intended to swiftly end Yiwu's life with a slash. Unexpectedly, before him, a weapon emerged, relentlessly firing bullets in his direction. The leader, taken aback, recognized the weapon with a deep sense of familiarity, because the weapon was unmistakably a modified version of his deputy commander's, the Big Gun's Shell Screamer. Reacting swiftly, he shielded himself as the leader questioned, "Did you kill my deputy commander, Big Gun?" "That's impossible." Yiwu replied, "No need to question the obvious. It's now the Guillotine of the Howling." The level 40 weapon, with automatic tracking and unlimited ammunition, unleashed a torrent of bullets in an intense minute, establishing a relentless and formidable presence on the battlefield. With the battle turning in his favor, Yiwu, once underestimated, questioned the leader about his weak attack and whether the weapon surprised him. Yiwu's surprise advantage overwhelmed the leader, cornering him under a bullet barrage. His energy shield quickly shattered under the assault. He admitted that even in sparring, the unmodified weapon often suppressed him. Unable to withstand the onslaught with his shield, the leader had no choice but to continuously run and dodge, as the weapon automatically targeted him. Realizing that evasion was pointless, the leader decided to confront the barrage head-on. Charging towards the weapon, prepared to sacrifice a significant portion of his health points. As he advanced, parrying the bullets with his sword, he chastised Yiwu for underutilizing the potential of his epic weapon, reducing it to merely targeting a stationary object. As he neared the weapon, the leader quickly struck it with his sword, informing Yiwu that the weapon's threat was over, as it would belong to him after Yiwu's defeat. Yiwu then revealed that his true intention was to bait the leader into attacking the weapon, creating an opportunity for him to stealthily approach from behind with a dagger poised for a surprise backstab. Realizing too late that Yiwu was behind him with a stabbing intent, the leader panicked. He failed to evade the strike, leading to blood splattering into the air. Meanwhile, Yiwu's enhanced poison dagger, with a one-hit special effect on humanoids, proved lethal, especially given the leader's low health points, making it a devastatingly effective choice in this critical moment. Suffering from the dagger's lethal blow, the leader, gravely wounded, knelt and propped himself up with his sword. Blood dripped from his mouth as his health points dwindled to 5%. In dire straits, a sudden turn of events saw his health points rise to 30%. He realized his Guardian Seal had been triggered, signifying a special effect from the received attack. The sudden recovery stunned the leader. Yiwu, a mere level 4 warrior, compelled him to activate his Guardian Seal. His anger surged, veins bulging, fueled by the exorbitant price paid for the seal. Amidst the leader's shock and rising anger, Yiwu saw an opportunity and quickly launched an attack with his flaming sword. However, the leader quickly activated his energy shield in defense. Mid-battle, Yiwu expressed annoyance at the leader for blaming him, highlighting that using his item's special ability was a painful sacrifice for both of them. As the battle escalated between Yiwu and the leader, a system alert abruptly signaled the imminent end of the Nirvana limit, counting down to just 5 seconds. In the leader's belief, this transaction would easily succeed with the Huangjang group's help, but an unexpected variable, Yiwu, disrupted his plans. Meanwhile, the leader swiftly counterattacked with his sword, sending Yiwu flying backward. He planned to demand extra payment from the Huangjang group after dealing with Yiwu and Miss Mo. Thrown forcefully, Yiwu crashed into a wall. The system warned that the passive Nirvana limit expired, urgently advising him to restore health points promptly to avoid dire consequences. After realizing he had underestimated Yiwu's strength, the leader discreetly took out a secret liquid in his hand, intent on ensuring his victory. With the secret liquid now in hand, he immediately began to inject it into his body, grinning sinisterly with the anticipation of killing both Yiwu and Miss Mo. As soon as he injected the liquid, his body was infused with lightning energy, allowing him to transform into a thunder beast for 5 minutes, enhancing his abilities and attributes. However, this came with a drawback of prolonged weakness for 30 days. With his body undergoing a dramatic transformation and a silhouette emerging, he walked towards Yiwu, remarking that he never imagined he'd have to use an epic level item to combat a mere kid. The leader already transformed into a new appearance with the Thunder Beast mode. He stood in his formidable form before Yiwu, belittling and challenging him to unleash all his tricks and enjoy the battle. Yiwu responded, unable to act further, his hands spread in a gesture of defeat, signaling that his final decisive move had been countered by the leader. When he learned of this, the leader became extremely angry because it meant wasting his precious props once again, and he immediately advanced toward Yiwu, preparing to attack. The leader began to leap with 2 crossed swords, intending to kill him. But even though the sword was now at a close range, aimed at him, he remained remarkably calm and even challenged. "Are you so sure that you can kill me?" It seemed Yiwu had planned it all. 2 bodyguards, now free from the Eye of Medusa's influence, rushed to assist him by restraining the 2 swords with their hands. Simultaneously, the leader was surprised by their agility, given the ongoing effects. Seeing the leader's disbelief at the guard's sudden recovery, Yiwu mentioned to the leader that he was just outside the door and had overheard the leader's explanation about the method used to induce their stone-like state. At that moment, he overheard the leader using the Eye of Medusa, an epic prop from the Huangjang group. Yiwu then realized that the Medusa's tears he had obtained from a treasure chest must be related to the Eye of Medusa. Despite being aware of everything, he knew only Medusa's tears could reverse the petrified state. Instantly, he suspected Yiwu had opened his treasure chest. Yiwu boldly confessed his actions to the leader of the Black Tiger mercenaries, sarcastically remarking that he hadn't expected their base to be so modest. The leader was furious when he heard the confession, upset that their hard-earned treasure was taken by someone else, and prepared to attack Yiwu. Caught off guard, before he could attack Yiwu, the bodyguards beside him struck his stomach in unison, sending him into intense pain and a roar of agony. The force of the strike was so immense and fierce that it created significant momentum, flinging him several meters away and through 2 walls. In the aftermath, the bodyguards assumed a unique stance, each forming a hand gesture resembling that of Buddha. Their display of strength not only left a gaping hole in the wall but also deeply impressed Yiwu, showcasing the intensity of their attack. Shortly after, Miss Mo questioned his decision to engage in a risky confrontation instead of immediately lifting the petrification on her bodyguards. Yiwu explained he had considered it but chose direct confrontation, confident in his ability to defeat the leader. He further stated that the chance to face such a formidable opponent was a rare opportunity he couldn't pass up, placing a higher value on the practical experience gained rather than any material rewards. Miss Mo was taken aback by this encounter. She had seen many people in her life, but this was the first time she had met someone like him. After rescuing her, Yiwu promptly reminded Miss Mo of their agreement, the initial 10 million and an additional 500,000 for securing first place in the dungeon competition. Miss Mo folded her arms and casually assured Yiwu not to worry about the payment, mentioning that the amount was insignificant to her. She found herself musing over his obsession with money, even at the risk of his life, and was intrigued by this part of his character. Shortly after, her bodyguards arrived, carrying the unconscious leader. They turned to Miss Mo and asked, "What should we do with him?" She responded with indifference, stating that he was of no value to her. Miss Mo then directed Yiwu to eliminate the leader, offering all of his equipment and experience points as a reward. Yiwu, grateful for this unexpected gain, expressed his thanks. Following her instructions, Yiwu prepared to act. He raised his flaming sword above the leader, poised to deliver the final blow. As Yiwu raised his sword for the final blow, the leader, on the brink of death, warned them not to celebrate too soon. he revealed that outside the safe zone, monsters were secretly gathering and that the safe zone's collapse was near, while he himself was destined for hell. Right after the leader's ominous warning, Yiwu finished him off with his flaming sword. The victory earned Yiwu significant rewards: 100,000 experience points, 80,000 in currency, and various items including armor, double-bladed weapons, and potions. Yiwu pondered the leader's final words about the monsters uniting and the looming threat to the safe zone. Miss Mo, on the other hand, brushed it off as a common conspiracy theory in the safe zone and suggested he ignore it. Subsequently, Miss Mo extended her hand to Yiwu, inviting him to join the Mo attack team. She stated that his skills and his action in saving her life proved he was qualified for the team. Before agreeing, Yiwu inquired about the specific benefits of joining the Mo attack team, clarifying that his decision would be based on the perks involved. When Yiwu asked about the benefits, Miss Mo questioned his motives, surprised by his hesitation despite the Hanmo group's well-known reputation. She directly challenged him, asking if he doubted the group's capacity to offer him significant benefits. Ignoring Miss Mo's skepticism, Yiwu gestured nonchalantly, emphasizing his confidence in the group's capabilities. He simply stressed his cautious and thorough approach before making any commitments. As they conversed, Yiwu was interrupted by two bodyguards appearing before him, both giving him a sharp stare, signaling the seriousness of Miss Mo's invitation and reminding him to be cautious with his demands. Miss Mo quickly stepped in, assuring the bodyguards that Yiwu faced no such limitations. She redirected them to attend to the students and manage any remaining mercenaries. With the issue resolved, their discussion continued. Miss Mo tenderly cradled Yiwu's face, sharing that the Hanmo group could realize a range of desires, from beauty to power, all within nature's laws and fueled by ambition. Miss Mo informed him that the emergence of plane cracks and dungeons marked the start of a new era, leading major groups to train and support teams using their financial resources. Their objective was to explore these dungeons and compete for the unknown future they concealed. With substantial financial support from the Hanmo group, the Mo attack team became a leading force in the competition. Joining the team provided access to high-level dungeons and their resources, along with a great salary of 1 million yuan and a 50% share in dungeon revenues. Another benefit of being a team member was that team members and their families got to reside in the Upper 3 District, known for its superior security and safety from monster invasions. Additionally, team members received special weapons and equipment tailored to their skills and attributes, and a skilled rescue team was always ready to ensure their safety in emergencies. Considering the offered benefits and understanding the decision's impact on him and his family, Yiwu requested time to think about joining the Mo attack team. Miss Mo, recognizing its importance, gave him 3 days to decide and casually tossed him a black contact card for future communication. Before she left, Yiwu again reminded her about the price for his earlier action of saving her life: 10 million yuan. Turning to him, she stated that the card contained 20 million yuan. Then asked, "Is that enough?" Hearing this, Yiwu quickly agreed the amount was enough, thanked her, and slipped the card into his shirt pocket. Suddenly, a loud voice from the door asked Miss Mo to calm her anger about the incident at the academy. Hearing this, both Miss Mo and Yiwu turned towards the sound. The voice was the principal's, who hurried in and knelt before her, apologizing for the academy's failure to protect the eldest lady, and took full responsibility while asserting the students and teachers were innocent. While kneeling, his face full of panic and sweat pouring down, the principal was deeply concerned about the consequences he and the academy might face if she suffered even the slightest harm. Taking responsibility, Miss Mo quickly reassured the principal, admitting the incident was her fault and offering an apology, along with a promise of compensation from the Hanmo group for the losses caused by the attack. Upon hearing this, the principal knelt again, expressing his profound gratitude for Miss Mo's kindness and ensuring her that the teachers and students would never forget her generosity. As she prepared to leave, Miss Mo reminded Yiwu that she needed his decision before her 3-day deadline in the 9th safe zone. He confidently assured her that his answer would be ready. After Miss Mo left, Yiwu was called by the principal and quickly turned in his direction. The principal immediately grasped his hand, unable to believe he was the one who saved Miss Mo and the academy. Yiwu replied that he couldn't let the bad guys do whatever they wanted in their academy. Furthermore, his actions were based on the principal's teaching that as long as one maintains a strong heart within, miracles will always occur. With one arm resting on his chest, he exhibited a thoughtful and introspective demeanor. Moved by his dedication and despite no level advancement in 3 years, the principal decided to honor Yiwu with a special award for his steadfast efforts. The principal instructed his secretary to gather everyone to address the attack and present Yiwu with a special bravery award. However, Yiwu suggested postponing the ceremony, mindful of everyone's shock. During the discussion, Yiwu told the principal he only wanted prompt payment of his first-place prize, not a special reward, to which the principal quickly disagreed. The principal, serious-faced, stated that the 1.1 million prize was insignificant compared to Yiwu's contributions, insisting that special awards should match the merit of exceptional bravery and accomplishment. Yiwu told the principal of his intention to leave early. The principal, resting a hand on his shoulder, informed him about the academy's 3-day closure and suggested he take this time to rest. As he left the room, the principal watched from behind, greatly admiring the courageous hero, someone humble yet capable of extraordinary deeds. Afterward, the principal instructed his secretary to inform the finance department to prepare 2 million for a personal handover to him at the conference in 3 days. Yiwu then visited his father in the hospital, reuniting with his family. His father was improving, but still needed more time to fully recover from the poison. He wondered if a faster treatment could ease his father's prolonged suffering from the slow recovery. Soon, a doctor entered the room and introduced the elderly man beside him to Yiwu and his family as Dean Jiang, the hospital's dean, who had come to apologize for his staff's behavior, particularly director Fan's. Understanding the situation, Yiwu responded that an apology wasn't necessary, admitting his impulsiveness and offering to pay for director Fan's medical expenses. As the meeting ended and Dean Jiang started to leave, Yiwu called out, "Dean Jiang, please wait. I have a question for you." Yiwu questioned if a quick cure for his father's condition was available at the hospital. Dean Jiang replied that a special, highly effective antidote could expedite recovery, but was notably expensive. Overhearing them, Yiwu's father reassured his son that his condition was stable and needed just rest, advising against spending excessively. Ignoring his father's advice, Yiwu was set on purchasing the medicine, unconcerned about the cost. He swiftly retrieved a black card from his pocket and asked for the payment to be processed right away. Seeing the extreme black card in Yiwu's hand, the elderly man was visibly shocked and asked him how he obtained the card. Noticing the elderly man's shock, Yiwu explained the card was a gift from Miss Mo of the Hanmo group and asked, "Is there any issue using this card?" Upon realizing Yiwu's connection with Miss Mo, the elderly man spoke more gently, revealing that the card granted Yiwu free access to all Hanmo group services. He immediately instructed the doctor to bring 3 special antidotes without delay and to transfer Yiwu's father to the hospital's most luxurious VIP suite. The doctor quickly left to execute these orders. Then, the elderly man explained that the hospital was a division of the Hanmo group and, considering the extreme black card as equivalent to Miss Mo's presence, announced that the antidotes would be provided free of charge. Realizing this, Yiwu was stunned, staring at the card in his hand in disbelief as he grasped its immense value. Shortly after, the doctor rushed back into the room, visibly panicked. He urgently reported that the poison antidotes, along with other valuable and rare medications, were missing from the storage, leaving Yiwu and the elderly man in a state of shock. The news infuriated the elderly man, who immediately asked the doctor if he knew who had taken the medicines. The doctor responded that the surveillance footage clearly showed Director Fan as the culprit. Upon learning that Director Fan had stolen the medications, the elderly man's initial shock quickly turned to a mix of anger and regret. Despite the betrayal by someone he had hired and trusted, he knew prompt action was crucial. He apologized to Yiwu, acknowledging the oversight and proposed an alternative treatment approach. This wouldn't immediately cure Yiwu's father, but promised to expedite his recovery. Understanding the complexity of the situation, Yiwu showed no resentment. He inquired about sourcing replacement medication, and the elderly man informed him that such rare items were often auctioned, hinting at the next steps. Then, the elderly man suggested Yiwu directly ask Miss Mo for the medicines, considering her group supplied the hospital. However, Yiwu turned pale at this suggestion, deciding to look for other solutions. Opting not to seek Miss Mo's help in order to maintain his dignity, Yiwu shifted his focus to the stolen medicines. He deduced that Director Fan had likely taken them to sell, leading him to believe the black market was his next destination. After setting his plan, he advised his father to rest well in the hospital and handed over the antidote. As he prepared to leave, she insisted on joining him in the antidote search, bored with hospital life and curious about the dungeon competition. Despite his initial reluctance, he agreed, but only if she promised to strictly adhere to his instructions and stay by his side. As they embarked on their journey to the black market, Yiwu shared the unfolding saga of the dungeon competition with Yunfei, including his unexpected assistance to Miss Mo and the subsequent gift of 20 million from her. Continuing their journey, they were unexpectedly confronted by 3 individuals blocking their path, demanding they stop and pay for further passage. Determined to protect her brother, Yunfei firmly urged him to proceed, positioning herself to confront the thugs on her own. Observing her protective stance, the thugs chuckled at the sight of Yiwu being shielded by a woman. They mockingly compared him to a delicate figure better suited for soft, white rice than battle. In response to the thugs' derisive laughter, Yiwu calmly placed his hand on Yunfei's shoulder, advising her to exercise caution. He stressed the importance of avoiding unnecessary confrontations in dangerous situations and offered to take the lead in such matters. After their brief exchange, Yiwu firmly addressed the thugs, urging them to withdraw for their own safety and emphasizing his desire to avoid violence in front of his family. However, one muscular thug took offense at Yiwu's words and clenched his fists, lunging towards him with clear intent to strike. Suddenly, an unknown assailant intervened, skillfully hurling a stick from a distance, striking the thug on the head and causing him to collapse to the ground. Without missing a beat, the same mysterious figure swiftly moved past Yiwu, unleashing a series of precise horizontal strikes against the remaining thugs. Each forceful blow sent the thugs reeling backward. After the confrontation, the man extended his hand, proposing to guide them to the black market. He casually remarked on their shared destination and confidently guaranteed safe passage, citing his knowledge of the area. Yunfei, upon hearing his offer, quickly pulled her brother aside and quietly voiced her suspicions about the man's true intentions, worrying he could be a fraud masquerading as a helpful guide. To dispel their doubts, Cheng, who was actually a senior from their academy, revealed his true identity to Yiwu and Yunfei, aiming to ease their concerns. Cheng reassured them of his genuine intent to help and promised safe passage to the black market. Yiwu, moved by his sincerity, thanked him and agreed to his guidance. Yunfei, still uneasy after Cheng's revelation, leaned towards her brother and whispered, "Do we really trust him?" Yiwu, cautious, advised, "Let's stay alert and act if anything seems suspicious." During their journey, Senior Cheng shared that he had joined the Emperor team from the Huangjang group. But with his current skills, he was only part of the reserve team. Upon hearing this, Yiwu immediately instructed the system to switch his account to Crazy Moss. With a new strategy in mind, he then called Weiss and asked if there were any kinds of props that could investigate a target object. In response, Weiss informed him that such an investigation could be conducted by assessing and scanning the target based on spectrum and magnetic fluctuations, which would certainly yield more accurate results. After learning that scanning based on spectrum and magnetic fluctuations could lead to an investigation, Yiwu became interested in conducting an experiment trial, and he quietly whispered to his sister asking who she found more handsome, him or Senior Cheng. Responding with a serious expression, Yunfei declared that in her heart, her brother was the most handsome. Following her response, Weiss informed him that she was lying, which led to a look of disbelief on Yiwu's face as he confronted the lie revealed right before his eyes. Immediately afterwards, Yiwu turned his attention to the senior, asking if he had heard about the recent incident at the academy and its suspected connection to the Huangjang group. The senior paused briefly, gazing intently at him, and replied, "I haven't heard about it. Has something happened between the academy and the Huangjang group?" Weiss then confirmed to Yiwu that the senior was telling the truth, easing any concerns about immediate danger. Yiwu, satisfied, responded vaguely, mentioning a rumor about the Huang team planning a visit to the academy. Upon arriving at the black market, Cheng was greeted by two guards who engaged in a brief conversation with him. They hadn't seen him for a while, as he had been busy training with his team. After their chat, one guard opened the door for Cheng, encouraging him to work harder due to the intense competition in the official team. The other guard expressed confidence in Cheng's ability to secure a spot on the team. As Yiwu approached the entrance, the guards, recognizing him, quickly shifted their demeanor to one of deep respect. They offered him a cigarette made from a superior magic crystal, a gesture that momentarily surprised him. Yiwu politely refused the cigarette offered by the guards, mentioning he was a student and didn't smoke. Their abrupt change in demeanor puzzled him. The guards then revealed that Yiwu's reputation from the academy was well known in the black market, including his decision to decline Miss Mo's invitation to join her team. Upon learning that his reputation had already reached the black market, Yiwu was warmly greeted by the guards with respectful smiles and an invitation to enter. Inside, Yiwu promptly signaled to his senior, "Let's go." The senior, momentarily surprised, quickly agreed. This incident made him seriously consider the stature of his junior, especially since Yiwu, a level 4 student, had been invited to join Miss Mo's team. Upon entering the black market, Yiwu soon parted ways with his senior. He thanked the senior for the guidance, acknowledging that his senior had other matters to attend to there. Before parting, the senior sent Yiwu a friend request, advising him to reach out with any questions. Yiwu accepted the request with gratitude, appreciating the senior's thoughtfulness. As the senior prepared to leave, he offered a parting piece of advice to Yiwu, emphasizing that it would be better and safer for him to leave the market as soon as his business there was completed. After the senior left, they started looking for the antidote. However, deciding where to head next proved challenging for Yiwu, given his limited knowledge of the market from his previous visit, which had been just a direct walk to a private room. While looking around, Yiwu felt someone's eyes on him. He turned to see a woman sitting casually, watching him intently as she sipped her drink. As Yiwu glanced her way, the woman, with a hint of elegance, commented, "You seem to be staring at me. Does that mean you want to buy me a drink?" Yunfei quickly stepped in, apologizing and explaining that her brother couldn't accept the offer because he was underage. Seeing Yunfei's sincere reaction, the woman chuckled, amused by her honesty, and then revealed she was only teasing her brother. Siyu, a stunning woman, introduced herself as an agent of the Hanmo group operating in the black market, revealing that she was familiar with Yiwu and his well-known situation within the group. Yiwu, seeking assurance, contacted Weiss to verify Siyu's claims. Weiss quickly responded, confirming her honesty and noting her reddish-purple aura, which he interpreted as a sign of genuine flirtation towards Yiwu, a revelation that surprised him. Approaching him, Siyu gently placed his hand on her breast, whispering about the Hanmo group's private room and enticing him with promises of fulfilling his desires. Despite her seductive offer, Yiwu stayed focused on his objective to make a purchase. Recognizing his determination, Siyu mentioned that the private room housed various items and started guiding him towards it. Their interaction sparked curiosity among the onlookers in the black market. As Siyu embraced Yiwu, bystanders began to wonder about his identity. Seeing the scene unfold, his sister's annoyance intensified. She silently vowed to protect her brother from the charms of any random woman. When Yiwu and his sister reached the Hanmo group's private room, they were introduced to a yellow box, a trading terminal providing access to a vast array of black market items. The woman accompanying them, Siyu, explained that the Hanmo Group's terminal had exclusive access to high-level transactions. This allowed buyers with sufficient funds to acquire rare and exclusive items not usually available on the general market. Without delay, Yiwu began his search for the antidote his father needed. He quickly located it with a trader named Brother Fan, who was offering 3 units at 600,000 each. Yiwu's investigation revealed Director Fan as the thief of the antidote, a surprising act given his high status. Miss Siyu pointed out that the selling price was significantly inflated, being 6 times the normal market rate, marked at 600,000 per unit, compared to the usual 100,000. In response to their opinions, Yiwu concluded that the antidote's high price was reasonable, given its exclusive availability from this seller on the trading platform, and therefore decided to buy it. After discussing the price, Yiwu expressed his desire for a direct transaction and sought her guidance. She explained that face-to-face dealings on the platform depended on the seller's agreement. With this in mind, he asked for her assistance to register for the transaction. She promptly assisted him in registering and contacted the Master Control to set up a direct meeting with the seller of the antidote. Despite their efforts, they were met with disappointment when the Master Control informed them that the seller had categorically refused a personal meeting. Unfazed by the setback, Yiwu promptly instructed the Master Control to convey his revised offer to the seller, proposing a higher bid of 1 million per unit. Reacting to the escalated bid, Yunfei expressed surprise at her brother's decision to raise the bid to 1 million, noting the steepness of the amount. Yiwu, composed, clarified that his aggressive bid was part of a calculated strategy to persuade the seller into a direct negotiation. Yiwu was confident that by securing a meeting, he could negotiate terms so favorable that he might even acquire the potions for free. Yiwu's strategy proved successful when the Master Control announced that the seller had accepted the direct transaction offer and was on his way to complete the deal. As the seller reached the Hanmo Group's private room, he hesitated, pretended to have stomach pain, and cited urgent matters to the guard outside. However, the unimpressed guard, aware of the meeting inside, promptly pushed him into the room. Yiwu sat inside the room, chin resting on his clasped hands. As the seller entered, he looked up and said, "I've been waiting for you." Disguised with a wig and glasses, Director Fan was surprised to encounter Yiwu in the private room and struggled to maintain his composure, relying on his disguise to conceal his identity. Upon seeing the seller's face, Yunfei quickly informed her brother that this person looked very familiar to someone she knew. At the same time, the seller, in a panic, denied this as they had never met each other before, and asked for the payment to proceed with the transaction. Then, Yiwu directly commented to the person, "Your injury hasn't healed yet, but here you are, out selling goods. That's really hard work, Director Fan." With his disguise exposed by Yiwu, Director Fan's composure swiftly shifted to panic, his expression growing increasingly uneasy as he sought a way to escape the room. However, when he was already at the door, 2 guards stood silently, merely blocking his way out. Director Fan appeared annoyed and ordered them to make way, emphasizing his right to refuse the transaction, believing that a child like him couldn't possibly have 3 million. Yiwu responded by presenting an extreme black card, exclusive to Miss Mo, asserting his ability to afford the 3 million. As she observed the extreme black card, Miss Siyu, astonished by its value, remarked that regardless of the amount inside, the card itself was worth 50 million. She seemed incredulous that Miss Mo had entrusted such a card to him. Director Fan was stunned by this unexpected revelation, his mouth agape in shock. He questioned how long he had been acquainted with Miss Mo, pondering if his wealth had always been substantial or if it had been cleverly concealed. Seeking to uncover the seller's identity, Yiwu baited him by stating that if he was indeed Director Fan, whose hand was burned due to Yiwu's actions, he'd offer an extra $1 million in compensation. Swayed by the bait, the seller, with his hand clutching his hair, contemplated revealing his true identity, stating that the matter was in the past and should not be mentioned again. Casting aside his wig, he stopped pretending and, with eyes shining, revealed himself as Director Fan. Acknowledging Yiwu's sincerity, he expressed his eagerness to immediately finalize the transaction. Yunfei, already suspecting he was Director Fan, was shocked at the revelation. Meanwhile, Yiwu requested Director Fan's permission to inspect the goods before proceeding with the transaction. Director Fan graciously allowed the inspection of the goods, pulling out his briefcase. He then opened it to reveal 3 neatly arranged bottles of top antidote, each capable of removing poisons, regardless of their level. Then, Yiwu, curious about the origin of the precarious medicine, noticed that it seemed to be indicated on the bottles with a strange set of numbers and from Mahou Hospital. Hearing that, the director quickly closed his briefcase, hugged it tightly in panic, and claimed it was a misreading with nothing in the bottle. Inwardly, he believed he had completely erased all evidence or information. Yiwu confronted Director Fan, mentioning that he had recently learned from the hospital about the theft of 3 antidotes. It didn't seem like a mere coincidence to him, and he promptly accused, "Did you steal it, Director Fan?" Realizing that Yiwu truly knew the source of the medicine, the director, claiming insulted pride, immediately turned to leave and refused to trade. Unfortunately, he was stopped by 2 guards who blocked his way out. In this situation, the director told them that inquiring about the source of the goods would break the existing black market regulations. Miss Siyu had intervened because it involved the Hanmo Group's assets, and she had the right to investigate the suspected loss, despite no connection to the black market. But he refused to be treated this way. While he could have allowed the check, he demanded $5 million in compensation for mental distress if proven wrong. Miss Siyu took a moment to contemplate, considering that even though it fell within her jurisdiction to inspect assets related to the Hanmo Group, she questioned the worthiness of paying $5 million if the accusation wasn't proven wrong. Then, Yiwu expressed his willingness to pay the money if proven wrong, as this had occurred due to his own suspicions as well. Afterwards, the director smiled maliciously and assured him that there was no room for regret, handing a briefcase to the guard for inspection, saying that everyone present could hear it. After that, she began examining the medicine's external appearance, and from its look, it appeared to have no connection with the Hanmo Group. But if it was a company asset, then she had a way to verify its authenticity with the help of a modified artificial eye. After inspecting the medicine, without many words, she simply instructed the 2 guards to take him down. And, of course, the director was quite shocked. Director Fan protested this treatment, feeling unjustly treated. He demanded to be released and accused the Hanmo Group of making baseless allegations of which he had no evidence. While gently pressing her high heel against the director's face, Miss Siyu challenged him, asserting that thinking replacing the medicine bottle would conceal the evidence was a significant oversight. "You underestimate the complexity of the Hanmo Group." The Hanmo Group employed experts for detecting counterfeits, incorporating a crucial mix of harmless information agents in their products for anti-counterfeiting. This vital addition enabled her, with her uniquely modified eyes, to identify counterfeits effectively. Once exposed, the director, shocked and remorseful, admitted his wrongdoing and took the initiative to return the company's assets, pleading, "Please let me go." But with a sharp gaze, she declared that his confession was too late. "Blame your own bad luck," she asserted, reminding him that those who dare embezzle the company's assets usually face severe consequences. Consequently, Miss Siyu commanded her guards to expel him from the safe zone, leaving him to face the monsters outside. Hearing his sentence, he became extremely distraught, tears flowing as he pleaded for more time. Expressing a desperate wish, he preferred a painless end if death was inevitable, rather than being cast out of the safe zone to be devoured by monsters. As dragged away by a guard, he warned that the safe zone would soon be attacked by monsters, and escape was impossible. Declaring only ancient gods could save mankind, he hinted at a secretive sect devoted to them, adding an unexplored layer of mystery to the unfolding events. Further information strengthened Yiwu's suspicion that the conspiracy theories regarding the safe zone's fall and one day warranted investigation for preparedness. Yunfei speculated, based on available information, that the reason behind risking asset theft and selling them was to facilitate an escape. However, Miss Siyu dismissed the warning as a conspiracy theory, since such theories had been circulating since the safe zone was established. She noted that the ninth safe zone, with moderate security but self-protection against monsters and located in a low-threat area, had been secure for 50 years, rendering conspiracy theory concerns irrelevant. Following Manhwa Group's policy, she casually gave him a briefcase full of antidotes for free, since lost assets were claimed by their finder. Having saved him 3 million, she playfully pressed her finger against his chest, hinting at a reward for her help. Cornered, he cautiously inquired about the nature of her expected reward. As Yiwu's heartbeat quickened with her proximity, Miss Siyu teasingly asked if he was nervous due to inexperience. Her alluring voice suggested teaching him many things, accompanied by a seductive smile. Because her brother's innocence was at risk, Yunfei quickly pulled him away to keep a distance from the woman. Despite her annoyed expression, she thanked the woman for helping them save money. She quickly stepped forward, filled with anger, asserting that her brother was still underage and couldn't tolerate the woman's behavior, which seemed like she was flirting with him. She clarified that her intentions were misunderstood, stating that she simply wanted to offer him a drink. After that, she handed a drink to Yiwu while teasingly suggesting that if he was interested in discussing something with her, she would give him her address so they could have a private conversation all night long. Seeing her brother being flirted with again, Yunfei quickly pulled him out of the room. She told Miss Siyu they had to return soon due to their father's concerns. However, Yiwu asked his sister to wait briefly as he still had unfinished business and hadn't bought anything yet. Aside from acquiring the antidote, Yiwu had also intended to buy equipment for his sister with a budget of 3 million yuan in mind. Realizing she had 3 million yuan at her disposal, her eyes brightened at the sight of the money. She immediately started to look for the needed equipment on a trading platform, and despite having 3 million yuan, she knew she couldn't just buy anything recklessly. Shortly thereafter, a guard approached, extending an invitation and signaling that the secret auction in the black market was about to commence. She casually invited Yiwu to join her, mentioning the upcoming secret auction and inquiring about his interest in participating. Taken aback, Yiwu realized he was previously unaware of the auction's existence. She explained that the black market hosted a monthly secret auction, open only to individuals with high access levels. To participate, one needed a minimum of 20 million in funds and a diamond VIP membership or higher. This exclusive event showcased rare treasures sourced from dungeons. Yiwu, feeling hesitant, doubted his eligibility for such a high-level event, and voiced his concerns. She reassured him by explaining that the Manhwa Group had allowances for 2 participants, and she could include him as her guest. Before leaving for the auction, Yiwu instructed Yunfei to remain in the private room. She briefly acknowledged with an "I know, brother," while keeping her focus on the trading platform, continuing her search for equipment. Finally, they entered a portal to the auction, surprising Yiwu, who had assumed the event would be in the black market. Miss Siyu explained that due to the need for a secure and confidential location, the auction would be held not in the black market, but in a specially designated area outside the 9th safe zone. The auction was scheduled at a central facility known as the 10th zone, strategically located at the heart of the 9 safe zones and surrounded by them. Preparing for the auction, Yiwu planned to spend about 15 million from his savings, knowing it was modest compared to the financial might of other participants. As they emerged from the portal and arrived at the auction venue, she quickly indicated that they had reached their destination. Meanwhile, he appeared visibly uncomfortable with the strange cloak that automatically enveloped them upon entering the venue. She explained that the reason for generating a shielding cloak was to prevent the exposure of identities and to ensure the security of those bidding in this auction. Soon after, the auction started with the auctioneer giving a welcome speech to those gathered for the event. As the auction began, Yiwu turned to Weiss for help in evaluating the items being auctioned, depending on Weiss for support. During the auction, Weiss rated each item with 1 to 5 stars to guide the master, aiding in making informed bids and preventing unnecessary spending. Meanwhile, Weiss noticed a familiar person and quickly informed Yiwu about this interesting discovery. At the auction, Weiss recognized Senior and Cheng on the lower platform, leaving Yiwu surprised and wondering how and Cheng could be there. The auctioneer presented items like a level 70 ancient magic crystal and bloodlock medicine, but Yiwu remained uninterested. Meanwhile, Weiss evaluated and supported, often assigning low star ratings to the items. Yiwu became highly interested when a mystical royal cloak with the ability to fly was showcased, but Weiss cautioned him about his budget and the cloak's limited practicality. Noticing his interest, Miss Siyu purchased the item for 6 million and gifted it to Yiwu. Weiss, alert to her hidden motives as indicated by dark purple spectrum fluctuations, advised him to decline. Heeding Weiss's advice, Yiwu politely refused the gift, stating he couldn't accept it without reciprocation, feeling he'd already been a burden and received much care before. However, acknowledging that the cloak had already been bought, Yiwu asked her to keep it for him, promising to buy it back for 8 million once he had the money. She agreed to his request with a chuckle, her apparent kindness leading to an unexpected 2 million profit. Secretly, she intended to use this favor to make him feel obliged to join the Mo attack team. However, his rationality complicated her plans. After the previous item was sold, the auctioneer introduced the fourth lot, Heart of Steel, an engineering blueprint for a level 10, fully obedient battle humanoid, modifiable and upgradable. Creating it requires a Master of Engineering title. The auctioneer announced that the engineering blueprint of Heart of Steel had been offered starting from a price of 2 million, a significant drop compared to the previous month's price of 8 million. Unfortunately, despite the blueprint's excellence, its creation presented a major challenge due to the difficulty of attaining the Master of Engineering title. This achievement was often reserved for top groups with significant resources and funding. Over the years, fewer than 10 people have attained the Master of Engineering title, making it extremely rare. Weiss explained that becoming a Master of Engineering had required not just substantial investment but also exceptional intelligence and talent. Weiss added that among the various titles obtained by Crazy Moss, the Master of Engineering was the most recent, even though there were many stronger titles already achieved. Realizing the challenge of becoming a Master of Engineering, Yiwu felt lucky and grew more resolved to improve his skills and knowledge in the field. Miss Siyu conveyed to him while turning towards him that she guessed no one had bought this drawing, to which Yiwu didn't understand her meaning because it was so cheap. She explained that creating the mecha from the blueprint would permanently reduce the creator's intelligence. Additionally, due to its limitation to a solitary warrior support type, it posed a high-risk venture for any major company dealing with low-profit chart paper. Despite concerns, Yiwu was undeterred. His high intelligence attribute from Crazy Moss mitigated the blueprint's drawbacks, and lack of interest from other bidders meant he could acquire it at a lower price. With little interest from others, the auctioneer asked if anyone would bid 2 million at a discount. Just as the round was closing, Yiwu, in VIP seat 30, confidently raised his hand to bid the 2 million, catching the auctioneer's attention. When Yiwu confidently bid 2 million, the other bidders reacted with surprise and laughter, mocking him for spending so much on what they saw as mere scrap paper and ridiculing his pretense of being a master engineer. Unbothered by the mockery, Yiwu stayed indifferent to their ridicule, seeing them as ignorant for not understanding the blueprint's true value, which they deemed worthless but he knew was a 5-star item. With no other bids following a short pause, the auctioneer announced that Yiwu won the Heart of Steel engineering drawings for his initial 2 million bid. Following his auction win, Yiwu's luck persisted. Upon handling the blueprint, it emitted a golden light, a special effect from his self-activating lucky rings, unexpectedly enhancing the blueprint's capabilities. As a result of the blueprint's enhancement, the level of the humanoid he could create was raised from the original level 10 to level 20, with the humanoid's gender now definitively predetermined. Meanwhile, as the auction continued, Weiss evaluated the ongoing items, including a 1-star rated dragon skin battle shield and a 2-star rated blood blade made from a dragon's tooth. During the auction's 7th round, a rare and epic summon beast demon crystal was introduced, starting at 10 million. This was Yiwu's first experience with a magic crystal that could summon beasts. Miss Siyu seized the chance to convince Yiwu, highlighting the world's many secrets beyond his current reach. She urged that joining Miss Mo's team was essential for him to access these mysteries and expand his horizons. Yiwu recognized that in her determined efforts to convince him to join the team, Miss Siyu saw him as a frog trapped at the bottom of a well, needing someone else's help to emerge and witness the vastness of the sky. However, unexpectedly, he was like a frog capable of leaping out of the well by himself, broadening his view of the sky through the king account system. Following the competitive rounds of bidding, the auctioneer announced the sale of the lot for 50 million. As the auction neared its end and the items grew more costly, Yiwu, limited by his funds, was left to just watch. Next, the 8th auction featured an electromagnetic siege tank, a powerful dungeon-destroying weapon with a 2,000mm caliber magnetic cannon, perfect for small teams in deserts and city sieges. The auction for this destructive weapon began at a starting price of 20 million, with a minimum bid increment of 2 million. Bidders started bidding to obtain the vehicle, and the prices steadily climbed higher. Yiwu saw the dungeon siege as excessively harsh, a view deepened by its affordability only to major families. Miss Siyu noted even harsher dungeons like tower defense war, escape and kill, and biochemical warfare, accessible only to elite teams. Realizing that more dangerous and brutal dungeons offered higher rewards, Yiwu understood he needed to join a top-tier team or form his own to venture into them. Yiwu put aside his thoughts on dungeons, deeming it premature to consider them, and refocused on the auction, where the destructive weapon eventually sold for 88 million. Next up in the auction was a rare level 100 key, offering entry to a legendary secret realm, a significant high-level dungeon. The starting bid for this key was set at 30 million. The bidders were shocked to see a level 100 dungeon key, a rarity many were seeing for the first time. They knew such a dungeon could contain resources worth over 500 million, yet Yiwu noticed surprisingly few bidders compared to the previous item. Responding to the curious atmosphere, Miss Siyu explained that the key's limited durability deterred bidders. If it reached 0, the key would break, barring entry to the dungeon. Upon hearing her explanation, Yiwu quickly examined his level 40 dungeon key and noticed its durability had dropped to 97%, with some rust on the surface. Realizing this, he understood he needed to use the key soon and head to the C87 area before it became unusable. Eventually, the level 100 dungeon key was sold for 150 million. The auction had reached its climax. The next item to be auctioned, valued at over 100 million, was the legendary Furious Elf's Resurrection Potion. This potion contained mysterious powers that, with divine assistance, could revive the dead. The bidders were shocked and could hardly believe that a potion with such effects was available at the auction. Many felt like they were dreaming. On the other hand, Miss Siyu was upset because the Cayenne family, the auction's hosts, had not informed the Hanmo group about such an extraordinary potion. She regretted not bringing enough money to bid for it. Realizing that such a potion existed, Yiwu asked Weiss if the title of Master of Pharmacy could enable someone to make a resurrection potion. Weiss replied that a resurrection potion was a taboo, inaccessible to any human in any rift plane. At last, the legendary potion was sold for 300 million by Senior and Cheng, marking the highlight of the auction. This sale concluded the auction, with the auctioneer expressing gratitude and reminding the audience of next month's upcoming auction. Once the auction ended, they used the portal to return to the Hanmo group's private room. There, Yiwu told his sister it was time to go home. However, he saw his sister was still deeply involved in searching for equipment on the trading platform, not yet done with her selections. Yiwu thanked for the auction invite and its insights into the real world. Miss Siyu used this moment to invite him for deeper world exploration with the team. Then, Yiwu entered his system space to quickly create the humanoid using the affordable blueprint he acquired at the auction. Additionally, all necessary materials were available and could be easily bought on the black market for a total of 4 million. Yiwu then eagerly clenched both of his hands, his anticipation growing as he looked forward to the enjoyable task of creating the humanoid. With the blueprint, the system assisted him in producing the mecha, beginning with its gender selection. Initially, Yiwu wanted to choose a male mecha, heavily armored like Iron Man and Gundam, but his instincts and thoughts seemed out of sync, always leading him to choose a female. Ultimately, he opted for a female mecha. Having chosen a mecha with a female gender, Yiwu was next directed to its basic attributes. He had the option to manually configure the mecha to his preference or select from existing presets, which included options like High Cold Goddess, Well-Behaved Lowly, and Mature Elder Sister. Due to the lack of time to adjust his preferences, he quickly chose the High Cold Goddess, prioritizing strength as the key attribute. Once Yiwu had chosen the High Cold Goddess, the system proceeded to verify the necessary production level. It detected that the host possessed the qualifications of a Master of Engineering and had the required materials to produce the mecha. Following the verification of the production level and the host's qualifications, the system automatically initiated the creation process for the High Cold Goddess mecha with a notification to wait during the ongoing process. As the system was in the midst of creating the High Cold Goddess mecha, an unexpected alert interrupted the process, indicating that an unknown energy was interfering with the mecha's creation. Immediate repairs were initiated. After the completion of the repair process, the system regained its normal function and promptly resumed the production of the High Cold Goddess mecha. Finally, the system announced the completion of the High Cold Goddess mecha. Weiss and Yiwu, expecting a beautiful and charming figure, were shocked to see a lowly emerge instead. As the mecha activated, she opened her eyes and inquired, "Excuse me, are you my master?" Caught off guard and blushing, Yiwu sweetly responded to the mecha lowly, "Yes, I am your master." Overwhelmed by Yiwu's acknowledgement, the lowly rushed to embrace her master, expressing how long she had waited and how much she missed him. In a surprising revelation, it turned out that the mecha was either possessed by or an incarnation of Arena, the strongest mechanical queen from Nebula M78. As the mecha embraced Yiwu, Weiss's sensors detected abnormal black energy fluctuations around her, hinting at something malevolent. This unexpected reading left Weiss puzzled, leading to questions about whether its assessment of the situation was incorrect. Realizing that Weiss's sensors might have almost exposed her true identity, which she disdainfully considered to be merely a broken piece of metal, she decided to conceal any information leaks and bide her time for the right moment to act. With her plans to keep her true identity hidden, she harbored ambitions to eventually claim Earth, which she viewed as a low-level dimensional world, as her own domain. Amidst these events, Yiwu placed his hand on the mecha's head, marking a new beginning. He declared, "From this day forward, your name is Nana, and you will follow all my commands." Once named Nana, the mecha looked up and assured, "I will follow all your commands, master." Back at home, Yiwu assigned household chores to Nana. As his creation, she complied unconditionally, setting aside her queenly pride to fulfill her master's commands. 3 days after the incident, a conference was held in the Academy Hall, where students lined up to discuss the recent terrorist attack that had caused panic and led to the kidnapping of Miss Mo. The principal explained that if anything happened to Miss Mo, who represents the Hanmo group, the Academy would be in serious trouble. Fortunately, in that desperate situation, someone emerged who not only saved Miss Mo but also defeated the mercenaries and pulled the Academy from the brink of despair. The person who saved Miss Mo and the Academy was a student, Yiwu. The principal requested applause for the savior and invited Yiwu to the stage to receive an award. When they discovered that Yiwu, once considered trash and able to level up, was the Academy's savior and Miss Mo's rescuer, the students were in disbelief, trying to reconcile their earlier perceptions with his heroic actions. Among the students, one wearing glasses speculated that the Academy was hiding the real hero's identity and falsely crediting Yiwu. He believed he was a better candidate, claiming superiority over Yiwu in every aspect. Then Luo Feng, grabbing the shirt of the student with glasses, expressed his dissatisfaction with the unfair treatment of Yiwu, who had saved everyone. Despite Luo Feng's intervention, most students continued to harbor disbelief. They remained skeptical, thinking his name was just a facade, and they expected his reward to be standard. While the principal expressed disappointment over the students' skepticism, Yiwu himself appeared unaffected by their lack of belief in him. Knowing that people believe only what they see, Yiwu remained indifferent to their skepticism and requested the award ceremony to proceed without delay. During the award presentation, the students were visibly surprised to see Yiwu receive a substantial pile of money as the prize. Along with the money, Yiwu received a significant item, the precious map of ancient ruins, a legacy left by Manhwa, the legendary relic hunter and the Academy's greatest alumnus in Zone 9. The map represented not only history but also the Academy's enduring spirit of advancement and exploration into the unknown. Manhwa personally created this map of ancient ruins after exploring dungeons and ruins within a 2,000 kilometers radius from the center of the safe zone, with the selfless goal of uncovering the world's truth. Subsequently, he handed over the map to the principal and then disappeared into the wilderness beyond the safe zone. Recognizing the map's symbolic value as an inheritance, the principal decided to pass it on to Yiwu, entrusting it to him regardless of its content's accuracy. Moved by his bravery and recognizing in him the courage of Manhwa, the principal entrusted the precious map to Yiwu, hoping he would continue the legacy and surpass Manhwa's achievements. Gratefully receiving the legacy, Yiwu accepted the map and assured the principal that he would never disappoint his expectations. However, as the award ceremony neared its end, a massive earthquake suddenly shook the Academy, leading to widespread panic among the students as they faced this unexpected crisis. After the earthquake, a plane crack suddenly appeared in the sky above the Academy, known as a portal for terrifying monsters. A student, noticing this alarming phenomenon, pointed it out, capturing everyone's attention with the ominous sight. During a crisis, the principal quickly directed students to an underground shelter for safety, while teachers level 15 or higher prepared to defend against emerging monsters near the plane crack. The unexpected appearance of the plane crack in a safe zone reminded Yiwu of warnings from the mercenaries' leader and director Fan about a potential monster invasion targeting Safe Zone 9. The principal directed the teachers to swiftly form a defense, ensuring students had enough time to evacuate safely to the underground shelter. Shortly thereafter, the situation worsened as a level 15 giant pig beast, an intimidating monster, emerged from the plane crack, sending waves of panic among the evacuating students. A fearful student in glasses pleaded with the monster, claiming his father was a formidable warrior who'd seek vengeance if he were harmed. Despite his threats, the pig beast menacingly advanced, preparing to devour the student, who screamed for help, calling for his father in panic. After the monster's dying cries echoed through the air, the tearful student turned and saw its defeated form. In the midst of the ensuing chaos, his eyes caught the silhouette of a figure holding a sword. With a trembling voice, he asked, "Dad, is that you?" As the figure approached, its identity became unmistakable. It was not his father, but Yiwu. With a hint of sarcasm in his voice, Yiwu clarified that he had no such child. He advised the student to quickly seek safety in the underground shelter. Relieved but still shaken, the student approached Yiwu and clung to his leg, his voice full of gratitude. "Thank you for saving me," he said, his eyes seeking further protection. Yiwu, noticing the student's persistent grip, gave him a sharp look that made the student feel as if it were a life-threatening menace. Startled, he immediately let go and ran away. In this tense atmosphere, armed and ready, Luo Feng and Ryuan Tian approached Yi Wu with clear focus, calling out to express their eagerness to join the fight against the monsters. Yi Wu directed their attention to the plane crack, a menacing presence nearby, and conveyed crucial information. The current wave of monsters was at an unexpected level 15, a detail that startled Luo Feng. Realizing they were no match for the level 15 monsters, Luo Feng quickly changed their strategy. He redirected their efforts toward evacuating the students to the underground shelter and signaled Ryuan Tian for immediate assistance. However, just as they were leaving, a level 15 Akabane rooster monster appeared from the plane crack, prompting Yi Wu to quickly clear up a misunderstanding, asserting he hadn't told them to leave. Yi Wu then urged them to follow him, seeing it as an ideal chance for them to level up, planning to deplete the monster's health points before allowing them to strike the final blow. Yi Wu, leading the charge against the monster, announced that this time, Ryuan Tian would be the first to gain experience points by delivering the final blow to the monster. Yi Wu started slashing at the monster with controlled power, while Ryuan Tian delivered the final blow using a lightning attack. Following that, Yi Wu instructed them to keep up with him, rush to the auditorium, and eliminate every monster they came across, taking turns to land the final blow. As they emerged, they saw chaos from random plane cracks spawning monsters, attacking defenseless students amid cries for help. Yi Wu surveyed the surroundings where the widespread destruction was a frightening confirmation of once dismissed conspiracy theories, now a daunting reality with monsters appearing throughout Safe Zone 9. Suddenly, they were confronted by a level 15 bull-type monster named Magic Horn Bull. Yi Wu quickly moved, leaping to deliver a slashing attack to the monster, while Luo Feng landed the final blow to earn experience points. Despite the challenging situation, Yi Wu's thoughts were still with his family. However, after attempting to contact them through the system, the other party was busy or the signal was disrupted, making it impossible to connect. Still worried about his family's safety and unable to reach his sister, Yi Wu's attention was suddenly diverted by a scream, prompting him to quickly turn towards the source of the sound. He saw Teacher Chen engaged in combat with a wolf monster. Despite being at the same level, the monster was overpowering, leaving the teacher grievously wounded and coughing up blood. Despite his grave injuries, he stood firm, determined to protect his students, and declared that they could only be taken over his dead body. Provoked by the challenge, the monster, with its sharp claws, prepared to finish him first and savor the feast of human flesh and blood. At that moment, he urged everyone to run. Yet, just as its claws were about to strike the teacher, the monster's hand was abruptly severed, leaving it in agony at the sight of its detached limb. The monster immediately roared, "Who is the bastard daring to attack me?" Suddenly, Yi Wu moved quickly toward the monster and thrust his flaming sword into its neck. As the monster roared in pain, he coldly declared that no one would come to its rescue. Recovering health points, Teacher Chen, surprised by Yi Wu's assistance, acknowledged him as the Academy's true savior and expressed gratitude for his help. Yi Wu's arrival brought a sense of hope amidst the chaos. After defeating the monster, he instructed Teacher Chen to lead the students quickly to an underground shelter for safety, assuring him that their team would handle the rest. Meanwhile, Yi Wu's mind remained clouded with concern for his family's safety. Despite these worries, his current focus was clear: eliminate the wave of monsters overrunning the academy and then make his way back home. Suddenly, within the academy, a plane crack appeared, revealing a one-eyed cyclops. Surveying its surroundings, the monster relished its assignment to an area teeming with young, low-level humans, anticipating an easy victory over them. Unfortunate for the monster, having just entered the academy and eager for a feast, it was struck with a mighty slash that severed part of its body into two pieces. Interestingly, despite its body being split, it remained conscious, screaming in pain and enduring severe agony. It was shocked to be attacked by a human it considered weak, something it thought impossible. Luo Feng, with his axe, leaped at the defenseless monster, poised to deliver a final blow. The monster, desperate to survive, pleaded for mercy, vowing to cease harming humans and to return immediately to the plane crack. Unmoved by the monster's pleas, Luo Feng struck a decisive blow with his axe, declaring, "You dared to invade, now your path is to hell," as he finished it off. Following the monster's defeat, Luo Feng reached level 15, and with Yi Wu's help, Ryuan Tian advanced to level 12. Yi Wu promptly cautioned them to stay vigilant, not getting swept up in the euphoria of their success. Realizing a peculiar pattern, Yi Wu sensed an anomaly, noting that all defeated monsters were level 15, an unusual uniformity suggesting something was amiss. Confirming Yi Wu's suspicions, the challenge soon escalated with the appearance of a more formidable level 16 bone sword tiger, indicating a diversity in monster levels. The emergence of progressively stronger monsters indicated a pattern of widely varying levels, from lower to higher. Realizing this, Yiwu felt reassured knowing his family was under the protection of Nana, a level 20 mecha, enabling him to focus on guiding teachers and students to the underground shelter safely. Yet, Yiwu remained troubled by the potential emergence of higher-level monsters, capable of combating only those up to 20 levels above him. The prospect of facing anything stronger left him uncertain about his next move. But Yiwu felt no need to dwell on the uncertain because half an hour had passed since the monster invasion, and most teachers and students were expected to have been in the underground shelter, though many remained trapped. Then Yiwu reinforced his determination to never abandon anyone's life. Needing a solid plan and precise information, Yiwu activated his True Eye skill to quickly scan the academy, locating teachers and students still scattered throughout. Following this, Yiwu decided to divide into two groups, Luo Feng and Ruintian, to rescue 3 students in the cafeteria and guide them to the underground shelter, while he alone would save the other students. Afterward, Yiwu parted ways with them, urging action. Ruintian reminded to stay safe, and Luo Feng assured there was no threat from the emerging monsters for Yiwu. Luo Feng still gazed in Yiwu's direction and mentioned to Ruintian that they had completely been transformed by him, all before they even realized it, and he believed that he could continue to lead them further into the future. During that moment, Yiwu was rushing to rescue other trapped students, yet he knew he remained unaware of the final level of the impending monster's attack. Realizing that he couldn't enter a battle unprepared, he pressed on with a sense of urgency. Then, he asked the system how many experience points he currently had, and the system immediately began calculating the accumulation of experience points. After the calculation, the system revealed 210,000 experience points, exceeding Yiwu's expectations. He speculated that the majority of these points came from having killed mercenary commanders and single-handedly defeated monsters. In response to a critical need for power, Yiwu requested the system to use all his experience points to increase the link level of his Qian Emperor account, enhancing his abilities for the upcoming challenges. Immediately afterward, the system upgraded the link level by spending 210,000 experience points, raising the link level by +10 to a current level of 31. Following this upgrade, he felt a surge of energy, thrilled by the effect of rising 10 levels in a single breath. As the link level rose, his level also increased to level 5. He knew that displaying his level bar like this would be less effective in the future, as many in the world could change or hide their level in their status bars. The system notified Yiwu of an available star talent point. Acknowledging his strong defense but weaker attack, he decided to boost his offensive capabilities and asked the system to improve his attack talent. The system received his command and immediately improved the attack talent, unlocking the special skill Red Flame's avatar, which ensured every attack was a critical hit for 3 minutes, significantly boosting his combat effectiveness. Recalling the Red Flame's avatar skill from his King account's initial activation, Yiwu recognized its enhanced potential with his now higher link level, promising greater power than before. Motivated by impulse, he eagerly tested his enhanced attack talent with the significantly increased link level, requesting the system to switch to the attack talent. Elsewhere in the academy, in a concealed room, several students, along with teachers Li and Jia, were sheltering in place, surrounded by lurking monsters. A distressed student sought comfort from teacher Li, who embraced her reassuringly. "With teacher Jia here, we'll be safe," she soothed, trying to maintain calm among the frightened group. Suddenly, their tense watch was shattered when a flaming monster burst through the window into their room. Relief washed over them as they realized the creature was dead, pierced with holes. Moments later, Yiwu himself arrived at the scene. His hands engulfed in flames, he felt a deep satisfaction with the enhanced combat output resulting from the upgraded attack talent. Filled with admiration after witnessing his actions, Teacher Li looked at him and asked, "Is that you, Yiwu? You've saved us all again." Yiwu quickly informed that the outside monsters had been cleared, enabling them to head to the underground shelter. He requested rescuing students trapped in the office building during the journey. However, his plan was met with skepticism by Teacher Jia, who saw the mission as too risky and questioned Yiwu's authority to issue directives to teachers. He perceived Yiwu's actions as an overstepping of boundaries. In response to the skepticism, Teacher Li backed Yiwu's strategy. She vouched for his judgment and stressed the urgency of following his plan for student safety. Her assertive reasoning left Teacher Jia speechless, unable to engage in any argument. Teacher Jia's frustration was evident. His ego had been bruised, and his aspirations of being seen as a hero were now overshadowed by Yiwu's decisive actions. This was particularly stinging in the presence of Teacher Li, whom he greatly admired. Choosing to act alone, Teacher Jia abruptly left. In his deliberate collision with Yiwu, he broke his arm, reducing his health points to just 20%. Wincing in pain, his face turned ashen as he struggled to maintain composure. As Yiwu was about to leave, Teacher Lee told him to entrust the students in the office building to her, affirming her commitment to not leave anyone behind. Hearing this, Yiwu felt a sense of peace of mind, enabling him to continue rescuing other classmates with a calm focus. Yiwu found himself at the entrance of the academy's treasure room, a place shrouded in mystery and rumored to contain secret treasures from past generations. The room was secured with a special seal, traditionally requiring both the principal's and the secretary's keys to unlock. However, by using his true eye skill, Yiwu detected an unexpected presence inside the room. This discovery, amid the chaos of the invasion, sparked his curiosity and amplified the sense of mystery. As he reached for the door, he was surprised to find it unlocked, an unusual lapse in security that hinted at something amiss. Upon entering, Yiwu was greeted by the sight of treasures radiating a captivating glow. Despite the allure of these artifacts, he maintained his focus, resisting the temptation to take any. His true eye skill indicated that the person he detected was nearby. Among the trove of treasures, he found Sue, a blue-haired girl, squatting in a teasing posture with her backside facing him, intently searching for something specific. To announce his presence, Yiwu cleared his throat with a deliberate ahem. The sudden sound startled Sue, who whirled around in surprise, not expecting company. Confronted with this unexpected encounter, Yiwu expressed his astonishment at finding a classmate treasure hunting while the academy was in peril. His remark hinted at deeper secrets hidden within the confines of the treasure room.